the boys haven't been that excited about the rest of the Premier League season. However, I knew if I come to you as a born optimist, you can sell us about what we should be looking forward to over the next few months.
You've cast me in the role again of trying to cheer everybody up, have you?
Well, cheering Burnley up is quite the task, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know, that's tough. No, well, come on, you know, there's always 8 million stories every season in the Premier League, and there's a half a season to go. First thing I'd say is just enjoy Manchester City. You don't get a team this good coming along that often, so sit back and enjoy that. There's going to be a vicious fight to finish in the top 4 between those 5 clubs below them. Then there's a little storyline. Could Burnley make it into Europe? What might Leicester City do? They could go on a bit of a run in the second half of the season. Then you've got the whole of the bottom half of the table involved in the relegation scrap. So I think there might be a few things to keep us occupied.
I suppose fortunate for us in the fact you've got Germany, Spain, France, England, all those leagues are done. This is tight. This is going to be a proper title race, Jack. Who are you going for? When you going SPI in Juventus?
As tight as it is, yeah. I just can't see past Juventus right now. It's a point if they win their game in hand. I know that's a big if. And Juventus have been here and done this before. The juggernaut that is Juventus Football Club, I just feel will be too much for everybody else in Syria.
I think Napoli can break this Juventus stronghold. I know there's not a lot of games, but the Champions League is still there for Juventus. They're going to have to navigate that. Surprisingly, Napoli don't. After they didn't get out of the group, Shakhtar and Man City get out of their group. So they don't have to worry about those midweek huge games in the Champions League. And that might just be the difference between them winning it and losing it.
What do you think, Stevie?
You've got to go with Juventus. I mean, you've got to go with a
So does Craig not make a good point in the sense that, you know, Juve have got the Champions League as well as a distraction?
But listen, Napoli's got the Europa League as well. So, you know, Juventus are absolute past masters at winning Serie A and doing well in Champions League. Napoli have got no history of doing that. So that's why you've got to go with
But I
Juventus.
wonder if they'll just... I mean, we talked before about teams that have gone for the Europa League to try and gain Champions League entry. It might be the opposite for Napoli. If they sense they've got a chance to win the Scudetto, they might just shelve the Europa League and play a B team. I don't know. It might happen. It might not.
It makes sense. Surely you want to win the league more than the Europa League, mate.
I imagine so.
Ian, what do you think?
Well, what I think is Napoli play some wonderful football. I really enjoy going there, watching games. It's a soccer-crazy place. They haven't won the Scudetto since Diego Maradona was in the team in 1990. They are absolutely praying to win it. Yeah, I think the boys are right. Juventus, that Champions League, could be a distraction for them. The form says Juventus probably will get it done, but, you know, the heart says Napoli.
Reports in England suggesting Manchester United have had a transfer bid turned down for the Argentinian international. This seems to fit United and what they're looking for, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, 100%, and a very talented player. Was it not Dybala that was supposed to be the issue with Bonucci in the Champions League final? I think the only side of the coin is there's been a few issues it would seem around the club.
Yeah, so there's problems with his focus going out. I know this is something that you never did in your playing day.
Well, don't just look at me. There's another two sat here. They're worse. But you know, look, Juan Mata's been a great player in the Premier League with Chelsea and Manchester United. He's always done a job when asked. But I think Mourinho would prefer somebody else. And Mkhitaryan just hasn't cut the mustard for this particular manager. Not in a sense in terms of the way he played at Dortmund, and he clearly doesn't want him. So yeah, I think it would be an excellent signing for Manchester United.
We would have sat here and said similar things, maybe not the same talent, Mkhitaryan, but of course was superb in the Bundesliga, yet Kane never really settled at Old Trafford. Would there be a concern this going to happen again?
Well, it will be if you don't play Dybala in his position, which is off the front. You know, you buy Mkhitaryan after having an incredible season at Dortmund, playing off the front, and then you go and stick him wide. Yeah. And then you wonder why it doesn't work out. Dybala's a fantastic player. If you play him off the front, I think he would be magnificent. But I just don't see Mourinho doing that.
But he has played.
Even if he went bottom,
he has played.
Do you really think he's going to play him off the front?
He has played Mkhitaryan off the front quite a few times.
But he never
I don't think he feels he got enough
time. He never gave him time to settle into it and pretty much quickly give him one of them. So, great player, Dybala. Got to play him in the right
balance
spot.
for Juventus, I suppose, is that we know how good Paulo Dybala is, but his price is going to depreciate the more he's sat on the bench.
Yeah.
if you know there isn't a future for him at Juventus, there's got to be a time when you think, right, yeah, you know, it's time to cash in.
At some point, I'm sure Juventus will decide to sell Paulo Dybala. I'm just not sure that it's this January.
The fans wouldn't like it either, though, would they?
Well, even aside from whether the fans approve of it or not, as we just mentioned, Juventus are trailing in a title race, still have Champions League to come. Selling in January for Juventus, selling a player of Dybala's talents, makes absolutely no sense from a Juventus perspective. Now, from a Manchester United point of view, it's great to have somebody of his quality coming in. It's great. I think Dybala adds to any squad almost in European football. Sure. So it makes sense for them. The question is, does Jose Mourinho play him in his preferred position? He spent a lot of money on Paul Pogba, and we can argue all day long as to whether he's playing in the best position for him. But regardless of position, regardless of who's in form or not, Dybala would grace that Manchester United squad. But I just don't see how or why Juventus let him go, not right now.
Ian, we've talked about Manchester United a lot on the show, especially the comments from Jose Mourinho about Manchester City spending a lot more money. He wants more money spent at United. What's the feeling amongst the fans that you talk to regarding, say, a push for a Paulo Dybala? Is there pressure on Ed Woodward to really break the bank in January to try and appease the fans, and I suppose, in particular, Mourinho as well?
Yeah, I think so. And of course, the way Manchester City are going is adding a poignancy to that within the city. So they do want to try to bridge the gap somehow. Dybala, he's obviously a stylish player. There's something of the Roberto Baggio about him, I think. He's a lovely player. For some reason or another, he's lost his way a little bit at Juventus. He's out of the team for big games. What I'm hearing is the Manchester United offer, you're never sure about these things. The story goes that it's about 60, 70 million pounds, and that Juventus would want probably double that to make this happen. And I think the boys are right. It's Champions League. They've got to think about that. So I think if it does happen, you're talking about next summer.
I've got Shaka Hislop here with me, and he is ready to tackle some of these rumors in Transfer Rata, Shaka, because we are nearing January. Exciting times. Riyad Mahrez to Manchester United. Would this be a good move?
I think it would. I thought he was going to go to West Ham, personally. But God. Manchester United, a good second option for Riyad Mahrez, who has rediscovered his form a couple of seasons ago. Looks a fantastic player. Maybe the creative spark that Manchester United need.
Daniel Sturridge, there's always some rumors surrounding this man. To Southampton from Liverpool, would that be a hit or a miss, Shaka? Taking West Ham out of the equation.
Well, taking West Ham out of the equation. I still think Daniel Sturridge is a wonderful striker. The issue is his injuries and how many minutes you can get out of him. The other issue is Southampton can't find the back of the net with too much frequency. So maybe he's a good option for them. Saying that, I think there are a number of other clubs who would also be interested in Daniel Sturridge's signature. I'm going to put this down as a miss because I think there'll be more than just Southampton interested in Sturridge, and he may opt to go elsewhere, taking West Ham out of the picture.
Speaking of taking West Ham out of the picture, since we are for all of these, Paulo Dybala, I know that he's somebody that you would love to have at West Ham, but that's not going to happen. No. He's been linked with Man United. Juventus have turned down a bid for him, but you would expect the Red Devils to come back. So would this be a good move for both the player and clubs?
Let me see. Dybala would be a good fit anywhere he goes. If Manchester United pull this off, it would be an amazing coup for them. I think he graces United. He graces just about any club. It would be a hit if it happens. I'm not so certain that it does.
Speaking of Manchester United, former Man United man, Johnny Evans now at West Brom. Could he go to the other side of Manchester?
Yeah, well, we saw this crop up a month or two ago, and then all of a sudden, after the Van Dijk announcement going to Liverpool, because City had been linked with Van Dijk as well, this has come back in, of course, on the back of Vincent Kompany, again limping off just minutes into the game on the weekend. I'm going to put this down as a hit. Ooh. Not that I would have thought that Johnny Evans would be a Manchester City player, but given what Pep Guardiola has been able to get out of a couple of stalling players, a couple of stalling centre-backs, who thought we'd be talking about Man City with the likes of Otamendi and Mangala running away with the league? I don't think you could do it with those two centre-backs, but Pep Guardiola proved everybody wrong, myself included. Maybe he does so again with Johnny Evans.
Danny Ings now, he's someone you said you don't want at West Ham, so would he be a good fit at your other former club, Newcastle?
I wouldn't have him because we were about to sign Paulo
Dybala,
Dybala, that's why.
right.
Newcastle's big problem this season in scoring goals. In surplus requirements at Liverpool, we need goals up in Tyneside. I think that's a hit.
We need goals. How many wees does Shaka Hislop have?
All that I need.
All that. He's been around the block quite a few times. Thanks so much to Shaka. Continue tracking all of these rumors to see if they indeed do happen or not here at ESPNFC.com. The festive season is coming to an end, but not before we squeeze in some more Premier League predictor with Shaka Hislop as my challenger today. Shaka, Bournemouth, Everton.
Before, I think I've won every single one of these predictors
Shaka,
for 2017.
Bournemouth, Everton.
So just to finish off the year, the streak continue. I'm going for a draw here, Everton, a couple of draws in their last two, haven't found the back of the net in their last two. But I just feel Bournemouth, who haven't been great themselves, but at home, I think they do enough to get a point. I'll sit on the fence there.
I think this definitely has a draw written all over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you, Shaka.
Okay.
Not that I'm trying to copy you. Chelsea, Stoke.
I wouldn't accuse you of that. Stoke have been poor. I mean, they're all... The old Chelsea man, Mark Hughes, are in hot water. I think Antonio Conte adds to that.
Hard to argue with that. Huddersfield, Burnley. High-flying Burnley, might I add.
Yeah, Burnley playing really well. Huddersfield need a result. And at home, again, I'm going to sit on the fence with this one and call this one a draw. I think Huddersfield surprised a few.
You know what? I'm going to go with Burnley.
Yeah.
Why not? They're probably going to be
The phone box
second
says Burnley, but my instinct says
to sit on the fence because you are quite the fence sitter.
my instinct.
Liverpool, Leicester City.
Again,
Oh, Shaka.
I'm
Draw?
going to sit on the fence. Yeah. You know what? I just feel, right, as good as Liverpool are going forward, this is perfectly set up for Leicester. Sit back, defend, hit on the break. As much as we've spoken about how good Liverpool are going forward, we've spoken about how bad they are at the back, which is why I'm sitting on the fence again.
I think Liverpool will be happy, or after the wonderful news of getting Van Dijk, that they're going to be raring to get a result despite their defensive issues that hopefully he comes in to pick or fix. So I'm going to go with Liverpool. Newcastle, Brighton.
I think Newcastle, despite the result and despite the lack of possession against City, encouraged by that performance. I think they come into this one in a good state of mind. I'm tempted to sit on the fence, honestly. But I'm going to take Newcastle.
There's a shock. Well, you know what? I'm going to sit on the fence with this one.
Oh, okay.
I feel it for good old Rafa Benitez. I want him to get some results there, but I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. Watford, Swansea. Boy, do Swansea need a prayer and a miracle and just about everything.
I'm not their pastor this week.
Come on.
Watford gets the better of Swansea.
New manager, no result, no knee-jerk reaction.
Well, you give them a prayer.
No, I'm going to go with my
okay,
on this one. Sorry. Swansea really make it tough to choose anything positive from them. Manchester United, Southampton.
Not a whole lot to crow about down on the South Coast. United get this one easily.
That's true. A good friend of mine took out all my Southampton players out of my fantasy team, so now I can gladly choose against them. Crystal Palace, Man City.
I'm going to sit on the...
Yep, this one, with my eyes closed, I could do it. So let's move on to West Brom, Arsenal.
I think Arsenal go up to the Hawthorns, get all 3 points.
Ooh.
Happy Arsenal.
Happy Arsene Wenger. I do love me a happy Arsene Wenger, so I'm going to go with the Gunners as well. Thank you to our favorite fence sitter, Shaka Hislop. We'll see who indeed comes out on top in this Premier League predictor here if you continue tracking it at ESPNFC.com.
Welcome into Extra Time. We're in our temporary studio.
Yeah, what happened?
The camera's broke in the other studio, so then we came here.
Why couldn't just use these cameras? Just take these cameras into the studio.
Oh, yeah, that's easy, Shaq.
You're the boss.
You sort the logistics of that out. How do you feel about this studio, Stevie?
I love these seats.
Yeah, you look very comfortable.
It feels as though I'm in Disney World and I'm just about ready to get catapulted somewhere.
Yeah, a bit of Space Mountain.
Something like that.
Is that what you do in Disney World? Get catapulted?
Aye.
Oh, I guess what Stevie does.
You ever go down there, you often see him flying through the
Yeah, but,
He's not well.
No, he's not well, Stevie. He's got a cold, but battling through.
battling through.
Battling through.
Who
You were
brought
sick
this
as well.
cold in? Who brought this cold in? It's been
know.
passing around.
I'm sick. No, well, I was sick.
He started it.
whose
You
caused
pulled it
this?
in,
No.
You gave it to him.
Patient
he was
zero.
struggling yesterday. He gave it to me. The
Right.
bad news, Shaka, you're in trouble tomorrow. Because you'll be getting...
I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah, don't
But
matter.
regardless, you've got it now.
The flu doesn't take into account when you're off.
I'm going to come. Dan's house. If I get sick, I can come in yours.
Come mine, it'd be
With
nice to see
chicken
you.
soup and orange juice.
Lovely to see you.
You know how
Going
you,
out tomorrow.
Always welcome.
you know how you gauge just how ill he is? You know that, don't you?
I offered him a
How was that,
chocolate,
Craig?
and he turned it down.
Well, it's like, you know how we have the gabometer for transfers? We
Yes.
have the foodometer for Stevie.
You didn't want anything,
When
Steve.
he's not eating anything.
Wow.
That means it's like, you know... there's
Even Eleanor's mince and tatties.
Wow. I'm going to be
Are you going to have a beer tonight?
No.
What?
I mean, that's...
That's it.
That's keep next week
Call
free.
the ambulance.
Keep next week free. Why? What for the funeral?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
I mean, that's bad. I mean, he's like, can I have your golf clubs? No, I
It's a
don't want.
rare event, that, I'll tell you.
Well, there you go. Where are you going?
Just getting comfy on this chair.
Right, let's do it.
Question for Stevie. Who's the best player in the Premier League this season? KDB, Salah, Kane, or anyone else?
The best player, I tell you, I don't know about the best, but I'll tell you who's the most surprising this year. Sterling. I mean, who would have seen the goals?
That's not the
that
question,
he's
is
gone?
it, Steve?
Well, everybody uses a different gauge to who's the best. Some people prefer guys that pass the ball, like a De Bruyne. Some people like
What
players
about
that
you? What do
score
you prefer?
goals.
What do you prefer?
Goals.
So Kane?
So who are you saying?
I'm going to go with Sterling.
Sterling's been the best player of the season.
I'm going to go with Sterling. I didn't see it coming.
Okay. All right, then. Next question. Steve, you brag about Pogba's price tag all the time, and all of a sudden we should forget about the price of VVD.
Isn't it amazing how people just make up nonsense? I never said that at all. That's a lot of garbage.
I heard you
What's a
bragging.
lot of nonsense?
I heard you bragging.
I'll
about
tell you what,
it.
we might have said you expect a higher level of performance for somebody that costs 100 million. We might have said that. We would have kept banging on about 100 million. So you're making it up. What's his name? Rushketh? Punchwa? You're making it up, pal.
Right.
Send me the tape.
Okay. All right, then.
He's angry.
He is angry.
I think
Angry.
it's these seats.
He's
I think
hangry.
these seats are making you...
Hey, listen, if I've said something, then that's fine, but I didn't say that.
All right. Are you surprised that there hasn't been news of ageing names going to MLS recently? Is it good or bad for the league?
Well, that aging players aren't coming
Yeah,
to MLS?
retirement league tag, I suppose they're trying to get rid of, aren't they?
Well, it's good that the league isn't being linked with aging players.
Yeah.
I think the league has moved past that a long time ago.
Yeah.
A couple of recent acquisitions suggest that...
Well,
they should
Pirlo,
have taken
Lampard, Gerrard, never none of them
shouldn't have come,
worked out.
no.
David Villa worked out very well.
Yes, but you know, at the same time, he's a bit of an outlier in that circle. I think MLS needs to go for younger players.
Yeah.
Whether European, Central or South American, doesn't matter. But the old aging players, I don't think it's
You were
a need
part
for
of
the
that
league.
old aging players,
Yeah,
weren't you?
yeah. They should have stopped just before me. Trust me.
That's it, we're done.
Don't forget to click subscribe.